Okay, guys, well, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly, I'm going to be your friendly candler today, because today we're carrying on with our adventure playing Arc Dream Publishing's excellent Delta Green Lovecraftian investigative RPG. We are using this to play one of the adventures set in the 90s. It is the Puppet Shows and Shadow Plays adventure, part of the original, updated version of one of the original adventures. So if you are joining us for the first time, this session will contain spoilers for that adventure. If you do not care about that, well, then allow me to introduce you to our agents for today. I'll go the order. I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and where you're playing today. First up is Robert.
Yes, I am Special Agent Lewis Wood, and I'm playing I always forget the term, and for some reason I always go first, and I always am fumbling around trying to find who I am. I'm an intelligence case officer for the FBI. Very
nice. And joining him is Jaden.
Howdy, everybody. I'm Jaden, and I'm playing Special Agent Turner today. He's your atypical FBI investigative agent.
Very nice. So we had John wasn't able, Will isn't able to join us today because of overtime, and John wasn't able to join us because of family commitments. But Jaden is back. Jaden wasn't here last time. Robert was here last time. Last time we played 2 weeks ago was the first time back after like 2 months. So we did spend a lot of time sort of going over what evidence we'd accumulated, what had happened so far. So I thought we'd do a mini version of that, as well as a summary of what happened last time to bring Jaden back up to speed. So what, guys, let me pick a place here. Let's pick, let's do the map maybe. There we go. So what do you guys recall about this investigation in general?
I remember the body burial ground.
Yes.
And the birds.
Yes. And we were... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, just to say, I think that's the last thing I remember, sorry.
Yeah. Well, we were called in to basically, there were a bunch of disappearances, and it was assumed to be kidnappings, which, as you said, Kev, makes it an automatic FBI jurisdiction. Yeah. And so we came in. There were a number of folks. I'll say that brief summary of facts. Yeah, that's it. That handout. Yeah, and I still remember it. I still think there's something here, but I don't. It could just be one of those great coincidences, called red herrings, where we had the two different groups of foreign nationals, German and Dutch, disappearing at the same time, even though they were very different types of people. Yeah. But basically the same stretch of road, the same area, and they hadn't been able to find any of the people. They found the cars abandoned, and so then we met the local law enforcement, one of whom would manage to, Alejandro Colorados was the police chief, and his good buddy, who I did not take a shine to at first, but have begun to think he's maybe a little more professional than I had thought, based on the fact that he did some extra legwork that helped in the last session. Major Frank Garrett, not the friendliest fellow, but there might be something under that exterior after all. And we originally decided to go down the road towards the reservation border, which was where at least a couple of vehicles had been pulled over on the side of the road. We were going to then come back to this ranch up in sort of this area, probably not exactly, but
so the Begay Ranch, you were thinking?
The Begay Ranch, yeah.
North of Belas.
North of Belas, okay.
Yeah, it was
okay, so it was actually pretty close to where we were planning on going anyway. Yeah. Okay. All right. And that's where we found, or as we passed it, we decided to make make our diversion there because we saw a bunch of vultures circling overhead. Got there, found the mass grave that Jay had mentioned. Jaden. Jaden, do you go by Jay or Jaden? Prefer.
As long as you don't call me Tinkerbell, we got no problem.
Okay. All right. But anyway, the one that you mentioned, and I'm really trying not to call you Tinkerbell. Okay. So,
only thing that's sticking there.
Yeah. We anyway, so we found the grave that was initially they were sheep, so they were the fella. The Begay Ranch had described sheep gone missing, and so we started finding sheep, and then we found the mass grave. Basically, it wasn't all the bodies; it was just the
was the family, and all were
okay.
and all were all the graves, including the sheep graves or sheep where they've been buried across the property, had all been excavated, seemingly by coyote.
Yep. And the family that was missing, the Begay family. Okay, yeah, got it. Okay, so that was the one that was missing. We haven't found any of the other bodies, although we may have found one at the end of last session. But yes, so we found them. The bodies had been exsanguinated by the doctor. I can't remember. That was Butler. Dr. Butler. Yep. Yeah, she discovered that they had been exsanguinated and that they had specific, almost like needle holes or whatnot, or small in specific parts on each of the bodies, and they had been injected with something that made them terrorized while this was happening. So. Yeah. Okay, so that was, I believe, the first session. And then in the second session, which is the one that Jay doesn't have any memory of, but Agent Turner, asleep in the back seat. We, on that morning, actually before that morning, Dr. Butler ran across a coyote out in the middle of nowhere that she was off running. A coyote appeared in the middle of the street, not appeared, but walked directly into the middle of the street underneath of a lamp and looked at her. And for some reason that really spooked her. And she ran back and basically she failed her sanity check and ran back and Wood met her and basically calmed her down a little bit. We went back in. One quick thing I wanted to say about the first session too was that we discovered that there appeared to be only one coyote track leading in and out of the location, and we don't necessarily know that it was only one coyote that made all the tracks, but there was one that moved in and back out again, and the tracks disappeared for no apparent reason at a line. I can't remember exactly how far out. So, but it was the same with all of the excavations, and so that was at first, and then the second was right. So then in the morning, we got the doc from our two people, our two local contacts, and Frank Garrett had sent out a helicopter that discovered another car buried 2.5 kilometers southeast of Begay Ranch. They just saw them from above. Again, when we got there, we discovered that it looked like coyotes had excavated it. There were tracks that vanished about 70 yards away from the vehicle. Again, only one, if I recall correctly. So it's not like it was a bunch of coyotes. It was like literally one set of tracks went out and then disappeared. Yep. It was a Texas plate registered to a Kenneth Braverman. The driver was dead, body partially drained of blood, cut in the abdomen with intestines out, lungs removed.
Whoa.
I'm going to skip the next part because I think it's better to talk about this combination, but it turned out that Braverman was a Houston police officer. he was the prime suspect of horrific murders of prostitutes. At his home, they found the bloodless bodies of his children, and the wife was missing. So I'll tell you what, Kev, I think I already have an idea what's going on here, but I'm not going to say anything because I'm not sure that. But it might be. I think my character needs to uncover one or two more pieces before he comes to the same conclusion. But who knows?
So I can't remember which of you guys had called. Was it Wood or was it?
It was, I believe,
Johnson. Will's character.
It was Johnson who made the call.
Johnson made the call. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's sort of the cliffhanger we left on, was this horrible thing.
There was one other slight aspect in that Colorado's is going to the retreat where the medicine men were to talk to them about this, because the whole thing about the coyote seems kind of up their alley. Like, and I think where Wood is coming from this is like, is there somebody who's attempting to either frame the Native Americans, the Apache in the area, or is it somebody simply using like one of their myths to stir up trouble, I guess, is kind of where he came from on the idea that you have this coyote going in and out. They're known to be, currently they're kind of considered tricksters, but they've been a wide number of things in mythology. So he just wants to know a little bit more about that angle. And Colorado's agreed mainly to try to prevent this from being pinned on the Apache in the area. So okay. This came in handy. My detective notes. Yeah.
Awesome.
It came in handy.
Agent Turner, have you any questions about what happened last time?
I think that gets me up to speed.
Yeah.
Dr. Butler did find two sets of fingerprints in the car as well. And assuming that those were run past Houston, now that you know there's that connection there, they can confirm that the two sets of fingerprints found in the car match those of Kenneth and Elaine Braverman.
Okay. So we've gotten to the part where we've excavated the entire car, or
the car is out. You have yet to actually conduct a proper autopsy. While Dr. Butler's not here, we can assume she would do one, and you would get the outcome of that.
Okay, sure.
Other things you could find. I guess first off, do you have any other questions for Houston? Assuming that at some point in the San Carlos tribal police office, you guys are having this conversation with Houston on a phone. We'll assume Agent Johnson puts it on speaker, so you guys can all speak to the people in Houston. So what they have shared is that he was the prime suspect for this, that his wife is missing, that the kids were killed.
So do they consider him to be the prime suspect for his kids as well?
They do, yeah.
Okay. And for his wife's disappearance, okay.
So the wife's disappearance, they don't. Given that he's the suspect, they don't suspect she was involved with it.
Okay.
They're sort of treating her as a victim more so than as a co-conspirator.
Sure, for sure. Okay.
But they do think they are kind of flummoxed and think that maybe they had it wrong the whole time. If you've got Braverman's body in there, Kenneth's body, and you don't have Elaine's body in there, then maybe they had it wrong the whole time. She was the one who was doing this the whole time.
You mean the wife?
The wife, yeah.
Because that's actually where Robert is beginning to think. But I don't think Agent, if they mention that to the group, then I think that starts something to click for Wood. And did they? Okay, yeah. So that would get Wood to start to add. So first of all, why did they? What was Braverman's connection with the prostitutes? Did he?
He killed.
Other than okay, or they said that he killed them. Yeah.
Yeah. He was the prime suspect in a series of murders.
But did he have like any relationship with them previously that they knew of, or he just was going out and?
There, as far as what a motive is concerned, they're not sure, but it was 17 murders.
Okay. And he was linked to all of them.
Drawings led to them conclude that it was Braverman. His car and his license plates were identified.
At the location each time.
Yeah. All the corpses were drained of blood.
Yep.
Some had signs of sexual assault. And most had signs that they were field dressed, like deer, and parts of the cadavers had been removed. Leading to speculation that he was a cannibal killer.
And you said partially exsanguinated, not necessarily fully, like we saw?
No, they were drained of blood, partially dressed. Which are,
right.
Yeah, parts of the cadavers had been moved. Okay. He's been missing since July 1st. So it's been about a month and change. It's August 2nd today. August 2nd, 1995.
Okay.
Jaden's not even a year old yet.
Yep. Remind me, there were parts of the bodies of the Begay family that were removed as well?
Let me see, double check. There was damage to the heart, lungs, both adrenal glands, and both amygdala of all the family.
But they weren't removed, or
blood was drained from them. Okay. Yeah, they were not butchered.
Okay, like the prostitutes were. Okay.
No, or like what Braverman was.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. See, that's where Wood would start to think. Okay, is it possible that that the wife had done this since he appears to have been. And currently, we would wait for the autopsy to be sure on this, but currently it appears that his death looks more like the prostitutes than the others. So, yeah. But you said they went missing on July 1st?
He went missing. So Braver left on July 1st. That's the last that they saw of him. He and his wife, that's when the bodies of the kids were found.
And the first missing in this area was July 4th, so that was after. Okay. Yeah, I think Wood. I think that's enough for Wood to start being really interested in the wife.
Yeah.
Yep. Elaine, I should say.
Yeah.
Sanguinated, partially dressed, some parts removed. I think. So. Yeah, he would ask if there's any way to find people who knew Elaine. And
what they say is that they'll send you
numbers,
photographs of Elaine.
Okay, sure.
Because they do have that stuff. What they ask for in return is copies of the autopsy and the forensic report on the car. They'll trade effectively that.
Okay.
They'll also send you the full copy of the files, which should take about 48 hours.
Yep.
But yeah, 17 Houston area prostitutes between May 6th and July 1st, 95.
Okay. Looks over at Agent Turner and says, anything I'm missing? Anything else we should look at?
think you really covered our bases, Wood.
Yeah. Okay. So let's wait for the autopsy and for the car to be excavated and see what else we can figure it out. And they're going to send the photos. That'll probably be.
They can fax copies of the photos over just so you've got that.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. There's the San Carlos reservation. So you guys will be. It'll be several hours for Dr. Butler to conduct the autopsy. What do you guys intend on doing during that time? Evening is finally coming.
The excavation has not been done, or is probably being completed today.
Probably completed overnight, and one of Sheriff Colorado's deputies is arranging with that front end loader to pull it out of there, put it on a flatbed, and bring it back. It's just going to be rough riding.
Yeah. There's something kind of tickling at the back of Wood's mind, and he's like, he knows Butler, and he knows that she's not too easily spooked, she saw this, and he's the one who had to make the sanity roll. Of course, that was self-inflicted, but he decides to kind of walk out along the way that she was running. And he's just kind of retracing her path, and she probably didn't say exactly which lamppost she saw the coyote under, but he's not even necessarily directly thinking about that. He's just just something at the back of his mind. He's just kind of retracing her steps.
Okay.
And then if he doesn't find it, I think he's going to go back to he's probably going to go back and just sit on that bench that he was sitting on the previous night. And if Turner's there, he might by and bang on the door or find him and say, hey, we'll have a beer. But first he's just kind of, as soon as he gets back and it starts to get dark, he's like, okay, I'm going to just take a quick walk.
Okay. What about you, Turner? What would you be doing tonight?
I think he's, if I'm not mistaken, we are just renting rooms in the motel.
That's right. Yeah.
He's probably sitting on the chair outside his motel suite, smoking a cigarette and just kind of mulling over all the information. And Wood has been able to kind of collect and analyze a bit more concisely than he's been able to thus far, and he's just trying to paint his picture so that he can start kind of putting together his own hypotheses and such. One of
the tools that FBI agents of the era made extensive use of was transcription. Dictating. You remember in some of the episodes of X-Files we saw Scully's dictating stuff through with that? That's a medical professional thing as well, but it's also an FBI thing where often, so it could be that you're sitting there with, a cold beer and your cigarette and whatnot and sort of talking through your thoughts on this. On your thing. It makes for a very cinematic moment, but Wood, so while you're out, it's later in the day for sure, and you can feel the temperatures are going down, but it's still plenty fucking hot, and the little stretches of paved road that Dr. Turner had been running on are still maintaining the heat of the day too. So you're wandering around, your mind is sort of trying to take in what you've seen and whatnot. You're seeing more people, similar to your neighbors who are Apache going around in town, kids, tooling around on dirt bikes and stuff like that. You can hear the sound maybe of either a dirt bike or an ATV or something in the background. You can hear music, coming out of one kind of distant place. And you find that it's a lot hotter still than what you had appreciated. So you pass by the gas station. So you quickly head into there to grab a drink. And as you're getting ready to pay, you can see there's a little impulse buy stand for tourists there. One of the things that happens to be on there is a book called Apache Ritual and Folklore. It is old. It is bleached, so it looks like it has been sitting waiting for tourists to pick up, possibly more than like up to 20 years. But the publisher may be of interest to Robert more so than it is to necessarily Wood. Publisher, Miskatonic University Press.
Okay. Yeah.
Miskatonic University, Jaden, is the like fake university out of Arkham, Massachusetts. Another fake place that Lovecraft created in his stories was Miskatonic University. So,
okay. So of course, it being late enough at night, and he would expect absolutely nothing on a thing like this to have any real value. He would like if he expected he would expect it to be, I don't know, pastiche crap that of Apache folklore and whatnot, but he still picks it up, just kind of this whim, and takes over the counter with the rest of the stuff.
Okay,
I'll take these.
So if you want to, there are probably seats outside as well if you'd like to sit outside, have your is it like a pop you're gonna get? Is it a beer, water?
I'm just trying to think, I think here it's like, given how hot the day was and everything, it's just going to be water. He's he's probably feeling just constantly dehydrated, and it's like, fine, a pop might be great, but it's not going to be refreshing.
Yeah. And as you're sitting, every half hour or 15 minutes that passes, you can feel the temperature dropping as the sun gets lower. So there's a nice breeze coming in as well as you're sitting down, and you flip through this book as you're rehydrating, and you do come across a section talking about coyote.
Okay.
And Robert, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah. Sure.
Kindly read that for us.
Okay. So what he's reading is, coyote spirit is very important to Apache lore and is represented in a whole cycle of myths. In all these myths, coyote is a trickster, transformer, culture hero. At one time, the creator of the earth, the slayer of monsters, the teacher of cultural skills and customs. At another time, the blundering fool, a victim of his own inadequacies and ruses. At another, a gross and deceitful prankster. He may benefit mankind by changing the world. He may succumb to his own stupidity. He may brave the unknown consequences of breaking the most sacred social sanctions and rules. He is a composite symbol of many aspects of mankind, illustrating mankind's weaknesses and strengths, his conscious and unconscious contradictory nature. Apache Ritual and Folklore, Miskatonic University Press, 1979.
And as you finish reading that, somewhere in the hills, you can hear the cry of a coyote.
Okay.
It's funny. Annie Sherrill sent a clip of coyotes shortly after the last session, and I was like, "Oh, that's what they sound like when they cry." And it sounds like, honestly, like kind of kids crying.
Yeah.
It's not a howl. It's not a yip. It's a real distinctive thing, and that's what you hear.
Yeah. We need to have that in the background of our session, as opposed to music. Which
I had a hard enough time trying to find hyena sounds when I was having Knowles play such a big role in our Legacy Crystal Shard game. Yeah. I'm not sure. I think, maybe I did find one. But you know what? Because of the way my mic is set up right now, to clip background noise, it'll just clip it off anyway.
Yeah.
But what is Wood thinking of as he's making his way back to the motel?
He doesn't really feel like that gave him any major insight over what he had learned from Colorado's, but it kind of has his mind set on I don't know, one random thought is like, okay, we're coyotes, based on what he had just read, as he was reading it. He was like, okay, so basically in Apache legend, coyotes are effectively us, but no. They're not, not superior, not inferior. They're basically us in a different form. And Yeah, he's just walking back and kind of musing on this, what he'd read, just random thoughts about the day, kind of going back and forth, which is sort of how he thinks. And every so often, like, different thoughts will connect to each other. But right now, he's just kind of letting them bounce around in his head.
So, Turner, you're outside, relaxing, enjoying, the fine of the drop in temperatures, and you can see Wood is coming back. He's looking sweating a fair bit. You may have your jacket over your shoulder, and he has a book in his hand. They didn't have when he left. What do you guys do while you're waiting for Dr. Turner? Grab dinner, or
yeah, or he says, have you had dinner yet? Go inside and or even just eat it out here. Sure, you're definitely feeling a little nicer, isn't it?
A nice break in the temperature for certain.
Yeah, he says, and I'm assuming it's dark enough that the stars are starting to come out. So he's like, yeah, that a few minutes it's going to be pretty amazing out here. I was out here last night, but your preference, inside dinner, or we grab something to see if they let us bring the plates out here?
I like dinner under the stars. I'm sure we can arrange something.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So
you guys, the place is probably small enough that you're going to have to end up going back to that cafe that you guys were at before.
Okay.
The cafe or restaurant that was in town. But yeah, they'll allow you to sit outside while you eat.
In which case, Wood just grabs burger. So
anything else? Oh, go ahead, Jaden. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I like the way you think.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys are sitting out there when you can see Dr. Turner returns. And I'm not going to play someone else's character for it, but I'm just going to summarize what you guys have learned from the autopsy of Mr. Braverman. So what she has found is that while obviously the abdominal injuries and the organs being taken out would have likely been a contributor to cause of death, what she found is that the body had the body had tissue damage that cannot be easily explained. The wound where Braverman's abdomen was opened and his lungs were removed through is actually an enlargement of an older wound in his abdomen. The older wound is about 8 weeks old and was about 4 inches long. It was a deep wound cutting through the skin, fat, muscle, and abdominal wall, creating access to his internal organs. It was expertly sewn shut using surgical thread. There's also damage to the adrenal glands atop each kidney. They had been punctured by something not much bigger than the tip of an IV syringe. There is similar penetration into the brain and a narrow passage from the base of the skull next to the spinal cord all the way to the amygdala in both hemispheres. The human brain has 2 amygdalae, one in each hemisphere. They're part of the limbic system, brain structures known to regulate emotions. So there was a penetration in the brain, and there was a passage up from the base of the skull next to the spinal cord all the way to the amygdala elsewhere in the brain. She did a test of the chemical composition of his fluids as well, and his body is riddled with adrenochrome, produced when adrenaline hormone initiates a physical change requiring human fight or flight response to danger. So it is very similar to the chemical composition of the the Begay bodies.
Yeah. I remember she never actually checked the sheep.
I think she did a cursory inspection of them.
Yeah.
And I believe it was only blood. Let me double check that, though.
Yeah. And
yeah, so whatever happened to Braverman, at least the body had some differences in terms of the cavity that was carved and the changes that were made to the brain, but also similarities in the chemical response.
And she thinks that was he? I mean, you said that the wound in his abdomen was maybe a contributing factor, but could she determine the final or the ultimate cause of death? Like, was it the exsanguination, or was it the? I mean, obviously that would, if he was still alive, that would do it. But
right.
Yeah, the primary cause of death was the injury to the abdomen. That pulled the intestines out, but the lungs were removed post-mortem, so after death. And you guys may recall, or you may recall, at least Agent Wood, there was not nearly enough blood on him or in the vehicle to account for that injury.
When we asked Houston about this, and they did they this is something that I should have asked if I didn't, was to get the list of things that were removed from each body that was found in Houston.
The list of like
basically a post-mortem on each of the bodies.
Yeah, you're going to get they're sending the 48. Okay. You didn't ask, but within 48 hours you should receive the materials. They got to send it to Houston office, then to Phoenix, and then it'll come down to you.
Yeah. Okay. Again, I'm getting sort of a possible connection, but I think Wood would have this too. He's like wondering. Okay, I said some body parts removed from each. It's like, so he's curious if it's all the same, if it's all different, so on. So,
what do you guys make of the 8-week gap between the initial injuries that carved that pocket and then the subsequent injuries that into the abdomen that killed him?
I don't know if Agent Turner necessarily has the most awareness about supernaturality possibilities. Maybe more of a Jaden thought process, but somebody perhaps convinced him that he needed to do this.
I think what I'm thinking is that either somebody prepared him, in other words, like knowing they wanted access to that, or just simply that. So it seems odd that 8 weeks ago he had this, it was repaired, and then whoever did this immediately went straight to that location. So whoever did this probably knew that the wound had been there, whether they had done it before or not. So knew that was the easiest way in, which, given the fact that he was probably clothed in the car, to me indicates that it would have likely been his wife. Because again, Wood's already suspecting it, so he doesn't know how he got that wound previously. He doesn't know who fixed it, but the fact that that was the location that was used seems pretty suspicious.
If you guys would like to give us forensic checks, you can do that. Remember, you set the difficulty, I think, beforehand, right, with a sheet?
I'm pretty sure that's not a Wood thing, but let's check.
Well, the nice thing, if you fail, remember, you get to try and improve the skill.
That's true. That is Is there any chance of succeeding when you have 0%?
Sorry, say again, Robert?
I have a 0.
Oh, if you're not trained in it whatsoever, then no, you...
Okay, yeah.
I am unfortunately also at a 0.
Oh, okay. So then why don't you give us a... Let's make it...
Can I talk to the wound with my human and say what happened?
Let's see.
I mean, first aid.
It's not in this game, but in Call of Cthulhu, there's a check called an idea check.
Yeah.
Why don't you give us a... If you click on intelligence, you should be able to make that roll. But let's set the difficulty... I think it's the cog? No.
Is it you hit the shift?
Oh, right. Yeah, that's what it was. Right. Hit shift and then click on it, and it'll prompt the difficulty. Let's set the difficulty here at... It is minus 20.
Minus 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing else gained.
Okay.
So,
Can we put the failure in forensics? Since that was sort of what we were.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. You guys can each tick forensics as a fail.
Since that's sort of the replacement for it. Okay.
Yeah. I think then Turner looks like she is in for a sleep, and she insists she's not going for a run tonight.
Yeah.
So she'll be hitting the sack, leaving this the two of you guys to discuss.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What do you plan on doing tomorrow?
First thing, he wants to see the car. And Colorado said he was going to go up to see them in the morning, the medicine men. Okay, so he won't likely be back for a while. I think what he's going to do in the morning is he's going to seek out. Is it Agent Garrett? Is that the last name for him? Not Agent Garrett. Major Frank Garrett. He's going to just try to find him and offer to share some the information.
He's probably back in Phoenix.
He's back in Phoenix. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I'll just give him a call. He's like, he figures, hey, this guy's professional with us. I'm going to be professional with him.
Okay.
And so that's his plan first thing in the morning. And then the second thing is going to be to go out and see the vehicle.
Okay. What about you, Turner?
And obviously he tells Turner that that's his plans. So.
If we visited the son's house for the Kirtleys, Alan and Karen Kirtley.
Kirtley, who's that? Is that one of the deceased?
Yes,
or missing?
That was the first group that went missing, and I was kind of realizing that we found the last group that went missing.
Yeah.
I was curious to look at the other side of our spectrum. Alan and Karen Kirtley.
So they live in Santa Fe in New Mexico.
Okay.
So that'd be one. So you guys are in Arizona?
Their car was found abandoned on the U.S. Route 70 en route to their son's house.
Yeah.
Is that
So maybe. Cool? So I think what you're saying is that we maybe could visit their son. And how close is Phoenix?
2 hour and a half away, I believe.
Yeah.
A little more than 2.5 hours ish.
Okay.
2.5 hours. Okay.
So this is Highway 70, the Devil's Highway, as the press is calling it.
Okay, so that's a wee bit far. So let's see. We already visited the gas station on Route 70, didn't we?
I think you did, yeah. First session, I think you guys were talking about investigating that.
Did we? I don't recall us finding anything if we did.
Right? Kind of feeling the same.
And hold on a second. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No, it's okay.
At the Big A Ranch, the fella that we had, of course, I have these notes I didn't transcribe over here. There we go. Who was the John Rope?
Yeah.
So Rope lives close to the Big A Ranch, and that's also near where the new car was discovered. Not new, but the most recent car was discovered. Yeah. Okay. I think Wood would like to at some point go up and talk to him as well, and just see if he saw anything that night.
Okay.
He maybe suggests this. He says maybe to Agent Turner, unless you have other thoughts, maybe you could go take a look at the car.
Mm-hmm.
I could go up and talk to John Rope. He's a touch prickly, and I think I only managed to get in because of the local of Colorado's helping me out, and also I speak Apache. So maybe we could split our resources.
I like it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So first thing in the morning, Wood calls Garrett.
Well, there's something that happens.
Okay.
Before
that, okay.
Morning comes.
Mm-hmm.
Agent Turner. As you open your door to meet up with Agent Wood and begin the day's investigation, something falls inside. Someone has placed a package wrapped in a manila envelope against your door, and it does not have any markings on it as to who it is from. There does appear to be a note tucked into the kind of thick elastic band that is holding it. And if you pull the note out, this is what you're reading. Jaden, would you kindly read this for us?
First, it was Mac Tooley of Tukamesh.
Tecumseh, I believe. Tecumseh, West Virginia.
Dr. Brenton Clark autopsies Tooley, quits his job, moves to Nashville, and disappears. Then it was Father Willard Franklin of St. Bartholomew, I believe. Bartholomew? Shelter for the homeless in Nashville until he committed
seppuku.
Is that like the Japanese?
Ritual suicide, yeah.
Yeah.
Odd for a priest.
Yep.
Then it was Elijah Jackson, who used to live at St. Bartholomew's, but in New Orleans, French Quarter. David Clark kills Jackson, moves to Houston, and disembowels himself in a hotel room. Braverman was not the first. He won't be the last.
What do you do with this? You haven't opened the package yet.
That's some juicy information. Well, at the creeping scale of this all, I would say Turner's, he's just a numb individual. So he puts the note down and cracks the package and sees what's next.
Okay. Maybe at this point is when Wood steps out, and you can see Turner sitting down looking through a package. And Houston said they were going to send things, but they said it was going to be 48 hours before you received it. So Wood, you may be thinking like, what's that?
Yeah, definitely. It's like, what's this? It's like Houston. Houston is not known for being that efficient.
I kind of look up as I'm opening the package, and I'll say there's a little table or something between us, and I kind of slide the note over to him to let him investigate that as I'm opening the package.
All right, someone through it.
So, looking through, what you guys find is a series of clippings. So you see at the top, there's the map that includes all the different locations referenced in that. Tecumseh, Nashville, New Orleans, Houston, and then the San Carlos Reservation. Guys, why don't we go one by one here? Robert, why don't you read us that Coal Country Killer?
I'm trying to zoom in a bit on this. It's a little hard for me. Okay. West Virginia.
If you scroll down, they've actually got just a regular print version, if that's easier to...
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, perfect. Coal Country Killer. West Virginia suffered a rash of unexplained disappearances and cattle mutilations for several weeks about 5 months ago. 9 people disappeared in 2 weeks in Lowry County. Theories ranging from serial killers to satanic cults to UFOs are bandied about to explain the crimes. When a bloodless and partially cannibalized corpse was found wrapped in trash bags and hanging from a tree, suspicion fell on backwoodsman Mac Tooley, the last person seen with the victim. When police attempted to arrest Tooley, he shot himself in the head with a Colt 45 automatic. An autopsy revealed traces of human blood and tissue in Tooley's digestive tract. Dr. Brenton Clark, the Lowry County medical examiner, resigned his job and moved to Nashville shortly after he performed the autopsy on Tooley. Nashville newspapers from a week later note that Dr. Brenton Clark vanished from his Nashville apartment. People have no leads.
Next clipping is Predator Priest. Jaden, would you give us a reading of that one?
4 months ago, homeless people in Nashville, Tennessee, began to disappear. At least 21 in 3 weeks. The police investigation eventually centered on Father William Franklin of the St. Bartholomew's Shelter for the Homeless. Franklin was questioned by police, but committed suicide by disemboweling himself before a search warrant was obtained.
Next clip is French Quarter Cannibal. Robert, would you kindly give us that one?
Sure. 3 months ago in New Orleans, there was a series of grisly murders in the French Quarter. First, there were disappearances, and then, as the police and public became more vigilant, several bodies and parts of bodies were found stashed around the city. 3 weeks into the murder spree, a local man, David Charles, killed an unnamed homeless man who had broken into his home. Unarmed homeless man who had broken into his home. The autopsy, which was made considerably more difficult because Charles had emptied both barrels of a 12-gauge shotgun into the tramp's abdomen, revealed traces of human flesh and blood in the dead man's digestive system. The tramp's name was Elijah Jackson. His last known residence was St. Bartholomew's Shelter for the Homeless in Nashville, Tennessee.
Whoa.
David Charles left New Orleans for Houston a week after shooting Elijah Jackson. 2 days after he arrived in Houston, he was found disemboweled in his Houston hotel room. Police believe he did this to himself.
Final clipping is Houston Hooker Hunter. Jaden, would you give us that one?
2 months ago, there were 17 related prostitute murders in Houston. Several people saw what seemed to be the same man in the company of each prostitute before she disappeared. Composite drawings based on the descriptions led detectives to a colleague Houston police officer, Kenneth Braverman. His car and license plate were identified. Corpses, or at least parts of them, were found hidden away in drainage pipes and abandoned buildings. All of the corpses were drained of blood. Some had been sexually molested. Most showed signs they had been filled
Field dressed.
Fields dressed like deer, and parts of the cadavers had been removed, leading to speculation that the killer was engaging in acts of cannibalism. When the investigation began to focus on Braverman, he murdered his children, kidnapped his wife, and fled Houston on July 1st. His whereabouts were unknown until his car was found buried in Arizona.
There are a couple of other clippings in there that we don't have full, summaries of, but the clippings, the additional ones are from national scientific journals dated 6 months ago. And they describe a spectacular meteor shower that fell over West Virginia. Several small meteors were found by locals in the rural county of Tecumseh. Included is the map with the location of Tecumseh County and its neighboring county to the west, Lowry County. What do you guys make of that? The 9 disappearances, again, just for those who are not up on their West Virginia county maps, Lowry County and the Coal Country Killer, that's where those 9 people went missing, is Lowry County. It's in Tecumseh County, is where the meteors came down. What do you guys make of that?
So,
you know what it sounds like? Sounds like we need to take a 5-minute break for our mid-session break to contemplate the information you have uncovered. So for those listening at home, we'll be back in about 5 minutes.
All right.
Outstanding.
Oh.
Unmuted. Hey, everybody in chat. THX, hope you're having a great weekend. Okay. Oh, shit, broke your pinky toe. Sorry to hear, THX, that sucks. I pulled a muscle in my left calf walking too quickly. Actually, I was doing burpees, so I think that may have been what tweaked it. But yeah, I've been joking that this week I've had a long-term right knee injury because I've a hiking injury, so I have to wear a sleeve whenever I'm or a brace on my right knee. I've got a brace on my right knee and I've got a compression sleeve on my left calf, so I look like an aging NBA player when I'm walking the dog right now. So the joys of aging. Hope your toe is feeling better soon. All right. Jaden said he needs a little more time before he gets back. Alrighty. Oh, cool that you've been listening to some Apache and Navajo stories. Yeah, fits right in with old folks walking their dogs. I'm going back to my hometown to visit my folks who are in their 70s in a couple of weeks. And I was joking that I'm going to need more mobility aids than what they do right now. So aging is rough, for sure. Okay. Oh, you know what? There's something I was going to do. Let me quickly do that. Waiting for everyone to get back. I'll say again, the Delta Green character sheets for Roll20 are pretty fucking good.
Okay. Oh my.
Hey, everyone's back. Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah. So you said that on the that something about the meteor shower in West Virginia.
Yeah. So there's a clipping from a scientific journal dated 6 months ago. So that would have been, if it's August now, that would have been February, I guess, late February. They describe a spectacular meteor shower that fell over West Virginia. Several small meteors were found by locals in the rural county of Tecumseh. Tecumseh is on the west, and then Lowry County is on the east.
Okay.
So,
and this occurred, and you said that was about 6 months ago.
6 months ago, correct. Yeah. So, that's a lot that you guys have picked up from these clippings from somebody. There's no markings on this to indicate who this is coming from. The handwritten note that you read out, that is in, whatchamacallit. Actually, I think I've shared the wrong thing. Let me just switch one thing here. This is what we got. Written with a Sharpie on a torn piece of paper.
Yeah. My initial thought is...
Donald Trump? No.
Yeah. How'd you know? As the wife, but that's only because he's connected to Mr. Braverman, of course.
Yep.
And I would say she's the only mysterious unlocated individual in the area.
Yeah.
Could perhaps connect these dots, but not that I want to doubt her range of intellectual capabilities, but this is quite the scope for her to take on by herself, I suppose.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it certainly feels like something is... Hold on, let me see this map again.
The continued bits of human remains inside of the corpses is quite as well.
Yeah. It's almost as... I mean, it's something... Apparently, if it's all connected, this is something moving. Houston, Texas to San Carlos Reservation. Does I-70 go directly between those?
I don't think it does, but there's certainly interstates that would go between.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I was just curious if this was like
directly on. I actually don't know. Let me take a look.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm kind of looking at, it probably isn't. That's probably like knowing how these things go. It's probably like it's probably down around I-40 or so.
Agent Turner kind of looks up at Agent Wood and chuckles as he's rifling through the special surprise delivery, and he says, "Good morning."
Interstate 70 runs from Cove Fort, Utah to Baltimore, Maryland. In Colorado,
what's the main highway that we've been looking at in San Carlos?
I don't know if it is interstate. Let's take a look.
It's probably not an interstate. That's probably a local highway.
Oh, Devil's Highway.
Yeah, 70, but that must be a state highway.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, just a random thought. So it feels like it's something. And again, I don't think Wood is really thinking anything other than human. I mean, at the moment, it's
right.
So it's hard for me to put this into terms because I think I know what I would say, but I think Wood is thinking that it's one person making his way through this. He doesn't know why the victims each have human, like, basically remains in their digestive tract, which is just gross.
What do you make of the like the injuries that killed each of the suspected murderers? Is there a commonality among them?
Disemboweling?
Yeah.
Is it for all of them? Coal country? Sorry, I didn't.
Learning this information makes me much more suspicious about Braverman.
Yeah.
So Willard, of the bodies that were recovered, Willard is found committed seppuku.
Yeah.
Clark, abdominal injury.
Yeah.
Braverman, abdominal injury.
But not bloodless part.
Not the first one.
Yeah, MacLeod.
No,
MacLeod shot himself in the head, and then it was the investigator, the forensic, the doctor who conducted the autopsy. He suddenly picked up and moved and then disappeared.
Yeah.
In Tennessee.
He never reappeared. Okay. Yes, that's definitely a commonality.
So that is something that I think the doctor would be able to draw her attention to.
Yeah. I think
the injury that was done to the abdomen for Braverman, it's almost like it was trying to cover up the previous injury, the previous insertion. Because if you look at where the thing went in and gained access, the initial incision from however many weeks earlier, eight weeks earlier?
Yeah.
Was it? It's almost like something was cut open, put into a little pocket, and then surgically sewn up. And then this subsequent injury was done to try to cover up that initial insertion.
Okay, interesting.
You don't have access to the full autopsy records of the others for Willard Franklin, for David Clark. But do you think that those injuries may have also been done to cover up something?
Possible. Now it seems like a red herring compared to this thing, but I would like to put out I don't know what the correct term is for the FBI, but like an APB for Dr. Brenton Clark. I know he disappeared, but just like start making kind of a nationwide alert for him, because I feel like there's more to that autopsy that he performed than what we know.
Okay.
Because from what I've heard, why would he just resign? I mean, sure, autopsy revealed traces of human blood and tissue in Tooley's digestive tract, but to me, there's something else.
Right.
So one of the cool things about the game is when you are trying to draw on the resources of the organization, there's actually rules for them.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, so let me see here.
We have a rule for that.
Yeah, for requisition. Okay, so...
Love it.
Yeah.
Guess we're going to have to keep a close eye on our friend Miss Butler.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't let her get hurt. She's...
So the way that this works is, it is, I think it's bureaucracy, but let me double check here.
No. That might not be me.
No, and like that's also like part of the like the intent of the game is that like not everything's going to be, some things will be harder, some things will be easier.
Yep. Oh no.
You know,
of course. Yeah.
So here's ways you can go about doing that. You can have an official requisition. An official requisition will normally take a day or normally takes a day. It typically requires a charisma ×5 roll. And the complications that can come from that are it'll draw the attention of others.
Mm-hmm.
If you wish to avoid scrutiny, you can try make it harder, but it will potentially cover your trail. You can also try and call in a favor through someone if you've got a bond with somebody.
Yeah.
Try and call in that favor. It does stress the bond, but it
okay.
It allows you to do that. You can also try to bribe someone.
Okay.
A non-Delta Green bond. It's an intelligence or accounting test. To have enough money to avoid the bond damage.
Yeah.
So it's. Yeah.
So have we specifically been told, I can't remember at the beginning, to keep this as quiet as possible, or are we, as far as we're concerned, is this just a standard investigation?
Well, the instructions you were given was that you are assisting at this point because there isn't any evidence of, there is a suggestion of kidnapping which justifies the jurisdiction, but this is a investigation of the locals.
Okay.
They're the primaries on this. You're here to assist, and you're going to want to deal with it carefully because of the historic tensions between the Apache and the federal government.
Yeah. I think, and I assume we have a major point of contact.
It's the Hobbs, I believe, is your
Hobbs, okay.
Special agent in charge.
Yeah. I think Wood would like to talk to Hobbs, bring him up to speed on everything so far.
Okay.
And say that we basically received actually, I think the first thing he would do is try to corroborate some of this information that we just got. So it's not going to be right away that he talks to Hobbs. He wants to corroborate this information because there's no... Are these official reports that we got, or was it just sort of like typed up?
Newspaper clippings.
Oh, newspaper clippings. Okay.
Yeah, these are all things you read. They're actual newspaper clippings that are contemporaneous. Okay. Everything appears to be bona fide.
Sure. Okay. So he wants to call him up and say, "Hey, look, I don't know that." First of all, he brings him up to speed on the investigation so far, and that there was somebody from Houston who now appears possibly connected to this. He doesn't bother mentioning all the really weird stuff like a coyote appearing to uncover all this. He just says we found these vehicles, and he brings up the guy from Houston, and the fact that they got here just before all of this started happening, the similarities, but also the differences. He mentions the hole in the chest and our assumption that something may have been hidden there and then removed. And then he talks about the stuff we found this morning and basically walks through each of the newspaper articles and says it all started in West Virginia, assuming this is all one related thing. And I think knowing what made where'd he go? What was his name? Brenton Clark, the Lowry County medical examiner. Like, he says, I just find it interesting that we don't know anything about it. Maybe this was his first day on the job, that was but it doesn't feel like just finding the traces of human blood and tissue in his digestive tract should be enough to make him resign. And so I'd like to try to find him. Is there any way we can send a relatively discreet Dr. Brenton Clark?
Yeah. What was this about finding?
I want to find him. I know he vanished from his Nashville apartment, which is then where the next event happened.
Yeah.
I'd like to put kind of whatever the equivalent of an APB out for him, but as discreetly as possible.
Do you think that they would not have done so in Tennessee?
I don't know if they, for Dr. Brenton Clark. maybe, but he might also. They may not have. In other words, I think he's extremely important at this moment. But if there's no way to find him that hasn't been looked at already, then I'm fine with that. But that's what he's sort of asking for. Is
so Hobbs says the investigation you've been tasked with is the disappearances on Route 70.
yes, which appear to be connected to something that started happening back in West Virginia 6 months ago, 5 months ago.
Do you have any leads to follow in Arizona?
We do. And we are going to be looking at them.
Then why don't you give us a charisma check, please?
Sure.
No modifiers.
No modifiers. Okay. It's at 70. Now, was there a benefit to making this a hard check?
That'll keep it on. It'll avoid anyone else. It'll make it a more less, I guess, obvious.
Okay.
It will make it, if there is anyone else who may be tweaked by you conducting that it'll make a less connection to you as the one who is responsible for ordering this.
I'm not too worried about that if it falls on me. If it was like, so we would just do the regular submit. No, okay. And unfortunately, you can't modify. How about human?
No. So okay. No, and I think the reason being is that his disappearance, there is nothing tangibly connecting him to the FBI. There's no jurisdiction here.
Okay.
Missing persons things are not a concern of the FBI unless it falls into one of the crimes that is within the jurisdiction of the FBI.
Okay.
Hobbs says you have investigations here. From what you've told me, you don't know where Mrs. Braverman is.
This is true, and we are attempting to. We'll be following that up today. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for the update. Good luck on the rest of your investigation.
Sure. Okay.
So.
So I guess we. So I think what.
So assuming that everything you've been provided was done so with intention, what connection can you make from what you learned here and now what you know that's happened before? How do you make these pieces fit? And just on a metagame level too, very rarely do RPGs include red herring stuff, only because it's already an artificial problem that you're working with. So from a game perspective, it's not really fair to the players unless there's a way they can figure out that it's a red herring. You can assume the pieces that are involved in a pre-written adventure, they probably fit together in some way, just from a gameplay perspective. So, there's not like this isn't like a real world problem where, there are things that just are not going to make sense. This is a game of investigation, so you can feel at least confident that there's a reason you've got everything before you.
Yep.
What do you guys think?
There isn't any clear tracks up to my door that would suggest coyote or human delivery.
Oh, good question. Yeah. Coyote Express. There's an exploded Acme box outside. Exactly. Why don't you give us a human check at plus 20? Remember, hit shift in order to get the modifier.
Thank you. Human. Shift click. Minus 20, you said?
Plus 20.
Plus 20. I'll take it. Whoa!
Whoa! Critical success.
Decent.
What you find out is, I guess, the overnight kid. He had mentioned that someone had driven up kind of in the middle of the night, and the weird thing was they drove up, they turned their lights off, they got out of the vehicle, walked up to one of the doors. They thought it was like a, call girl or something that was being called in the middle of the night. Right. They didn't want to make any fuss, so... But yeah, they saw some car come in and then turn back in the direction of down Highway 6.
Mm.
So someone showed up in the middle of the night, closer to the dawn, and then got back in, turned around with a critical.
Mm-hmm.
They can provide you a license plate number.
Fantastic.
The downside is it tracks back to a rental company.
Oh, bollocks. Okay.
So someone had a rental car. They drove down here, parked far enough away to avoid waking anybody up. Not so far away as they'd have to walk, but drove it to the edge of the parking lot, stopped the vehicle there, walked over, dropped this thing off. Single person. And they
must ask for like a male or female figure.
He thought female.
Oh. Dun, dun, dun.
Would we be able to track this car to a specific
rental agency?
Yeah, and basically the last person to rent it.
Perhaps call local companies.
It would be a local. It's a rental company out of Phoenix.
Okay.
So someone drove out from Phoenix for it. Let me take a look here. What the requisition is?
That would be something.
Like in the agent's handbook, there's a list of what the difficulty is for each of the things, and apart from it's cool that they have that, it's also kind of neat having those listed as things you can do with your character as a way of maybe I could try this and try and find more information that way.
Yeah.
So this is going to be. And incidental law enforcement requisition, access to unclassified but restricted files such as criminal or financial records. That's probably what this is. Because it is incidental, that means it will be... Maybe it's automatically successful. Hold up.
Ooh.
Let's see.
I'll take that and run to the bank.
Heck yeah.
The darndest thing happened, too. Nobody came in here and drank all my damn coffee.
Yeah, everything happens. I usually blame Anna Banana.
She's a thirsty little one, isn't she?
She is.
And hyper. I wonder if there's any connection.
Okay, so you can make a charisma check at +20.
+20.
But if you fail, it means that it draws official review.
Okay. Charisma at a +20.
Here we go.
I'm feeling lucky.
Nice.
Okay. There we
go. You are able to recover. The name of the rental company doesn't necessarily matter. The company that it has been, it's effectively like a John Doe as the driver, and it is a numbered company that is listed as the one that is renting it. So unidentified number, you can search corporate records and try and find information about that, but that will take a little longer. Oh, the delays, right, I forgot about that too. So this one you'll be able to get pretty quickly to get the information. This will be within the day that you'll get that. You'll have to have agent go down and request to look at the records there. So you'll receive this over the course of the day, Agent Turner. Same thing with a call with Agent Hobbs, or Special Agent in Charge Hobbs.
Although that didn't get me anything, but yeah.
No, unfortunately, but it still does take time. Anything else? Agent Wood. Let me just double check this skill that would be applicable here.
I think it might be just...
Are you trained in bureaucracy?
Agent Wood. No. Oh wait, hold on. Bureaucracy. Where'd I go? Sorry, gotta get my character back up. Just reading other stuff. Bureaucracy 40.
Well, criminology.
50. Yeah.
Why don't you give us a criminology check, please?
Sure.
Nice. So the name of like the sort of John Doe as the driver, the numbered company on this, you can definitely like get in motion the corporate search for identifying information about this. Yep. What it's going to be a cutout. It's going to be a company that is got no meaningful connection to anything. You sort of know where this thing is going to go. As a member of the FBI, you still do the legwork. You still get the diligent, stuff done. At least that's what the Bureau would expect. But you've just got a feeling that like this is going to get us nowhere. We're not going to be able to identify what this is. Absent a forensic audit or something like that. Yeah.
All right. Okay. I don't know. I'm still not quite seeing how the piece... I mean, obviously this is something that is moving in this direction. Now, is it something that they're trying to... It seems like the only connection I could immediately think of would be that somebody is transporting something from West Virginia all the way here.
Somebody.
Yeah, the problem is I can't say something yet because I don't think Wood is quite at the point where he's imagining it as being supernatural. So he's
So what in Wood's mind was in Braverman's gut?
Drugs.
For those 4 weeks.
Drugs is what he would think. It's like...
I think the doctor could answer that. Like that definitely would not. Whatever's in there, it gained access to organs and through there to the brain.
So an organism of some sort. And all right, so something that's traveling between bodies. The body, for some reason, becomes unsuitable for it.
Setting for the bodies you have found thus far. Is there something in common with what state those humans were in at the time that they disemboweled themselves or otherwise,
well, terrorized?
They were definitely, I mean, for what you've got thus far, yeah, they were definitely terrorized, but do you make anything of the fact that Mac Tooley, the fella from West Virginia, how he ended his life as opposed to the others? The other bodies, at least, you've recovered.
Yeah, it wasn't a disembowelment. I don't recall the...
shot himself in the head before the cops got him, right?
Was that Tooley? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
The weapon he used, I thought that was an interesting call-out in particular. Is that like a typical law enforcement firearm?
Yeah.
Colt 45. More of like a military sidearm. Typically, just because it's such a high caliber, it's from what I understand, this is somebody who's never worked in law enforcement. What I understand is that the it's the kind of like Shogun more than an actual practical sidearm because it's got such a high caliber.
Right.
It's there are other weapons that would be more suitable choices for law enforcement in terms of like controlled shots and things like that. But yeah, you're correct though. It was a Colt 45 that he used to shoot himself in the head when he was being arrested.
So he was. I thought he had done it. Okay, last person seen with the victim, and the bloodless and partially cannibalized corpse. There's no information there that the abdomen had been. It could have been, particularly if it was partially cannibalized. I mean,
if there was an autopsy performed of Thule, his abdomen would have been exposed.
Oh, okay.
Right, because that's just part stomach contents and things like that. You need to be able to just boilerplate. Butler would be able to tell you it's a boilerplate part of an autopsy.
So it would have popped up if that had been the case. So he didn't have that.
Though the person who did do the autopsy immediately resigned and immediately moved to Tennessee.
I'm wondering.
So we don't have we can't get the actual autopsy report?
Filed by Dr.
Right, but it would be filed by Clark. But wouldn't that be on record at some...
In the what is it, Lowry County? Yeah. You could request that. That's another.
Sure. Yeah, I think you'd want to do that. But if it is so what I was trying to figure out was I assumed that because it had been mentioned that his abdomen was what's his name? The guy who Thule wasn't was intact. The abdomen was intact, but my thought would have been that if it wasn't, that he was scared to death of whatever he saw, and if it was inside of him, he didn't want the same thing to happen to him if it was an organism. But finding out whether or not his abdomen is intact or like the others, I think is important. So yeah, I think he's going to try to...
One thing that Dr. Butler would be able to... especially from having conducted autopsies now recently in very undersupplied counties. Imagine yourself in Lowry County, West Virginia, coal country, decades of poverty.
Yeah.
Do you think he's conducting that autopsy on his own, or do you think he's got an assistant?
I mean, I would guess he's doing it on his own. It's like, well, in that case, if you don't have the money to...
So imagine you're this small county autopsy person. Your guy's shot in the head. You've got an obvious sign of, cause of death. Do you think you're taking any special precautions in going about your autopsy?
No. Yeah, so he was probably infected by whatever did that. Yeah.
Late night in a county autopsy. People want to get this done so they can put this horrific story to bed. 9 people dead in the county, small county where folks all know each other.
Yeah, and then he goes, okay.
And then the morning after, immediately resigns and then suddenly moves away.
Yep. Okay. And then disappears entirely. So, but then, so he probably ran into this priest who then, okay.
The priest ran a shelter, right?
Yep, yeah.
For homeless
and then there
folks?
Was, of the homeless. I missed that part.
21 disappearing in 3 weeks as well.
Right. But then the next person was a homeless person who...
Came from that?
And he came from that. Sorry, I completely missed that connection. Okay. Last known resident.
Good to know. It's good to talk these things through, right? Yeah.
It's a
That's
juicy bit of info
the
we got
problem with
jumping on, so-
alternating. That's the problem with alternating. If I read the whole thing straight through, yeah, it's like okay. I don't listen to when somebody else speaks. No.
See, I do the exact
I know
opposite.
you're
I'm not
a
listening
scientist,
while I speak,
Robert,
Yeah,
but are you sure you're not a lawyer? Because you do seem to enjoy the sound of your own voice.
I do. Yes, I do.
So yeah, that's what if we look at the
Okay.
map for Trail of Terror.
Yeah.
Tecumseh is where the where the meteor shower occurs.
Yep.
Lowry County is where all those murders and whatnot happen, and then Tooley shoots himself in the head.
Yeah.
The day after conducting the autopsy, that doctor disappears, moves
Yep.
to Tennessee.
Yep.
In Nashville, there are homeless people who are going missing, and then this reverend who disembowels himself for some reason. We then have a series of murders in the French Quarter, and David Charles, a local guy, kills a homeless person who invades his home.
Who had been at the St. Bartholomew shelter
And
for the homeless.
it just so happens that that homeless person is shot in the abdomen.
Yep.
Curious coincidence, eh?
So the person who, hold on. Yep, I got it. So the person who is most recently infected kills the other person by destroying the abdomen. So that would indicate that Elaine is probably the current, if not the current, at least the person who initiated everything here, because she was likely the one who disemboweled her husband, and then because she now has it in her body.
Connecting a quick dot.
Yeah.
There seems to be one survivor that's transferring between locations. And all of the other missing victims, I can only imagine, are inside of the stomachs of these individuals, as to leading to the fact that they're not found. Like, we haven't found anybody on our list besides for that one family that was in the grave. I know we're kind of still in the early stages here, but I guess Mr. what's his nuts?
Well, the bodies that we found in Big A, they didn't have the whole stomach, the disembowelment thing, right? They were just exsanguinated.
Right.
So my guess would be there's only one of these things, but for some reason it feeds on blood and or terror. Basically, that's what it needs to stay alive, but at the same time, it needs to transfer every so often. I don't know if there's like a specific amount of time it needs to transfer, or if the bodies just can't, the bodies deteriorate. But I think
So there's been
Butler would have,
there's been no medical evidence that you found in Braverman's body that suggests while he was operating at like with that crazy adrenaline level or adrenochrome level, and that obviously can be detrimental to the long-term health of the body. It's not like there's any evidence or any physiological sign that it was breaking down.
Okay.
Interesting. Another reason that it needs to transfer.
Yeah.
So both of you have a criminology at 50. Why don't you each give us a criminology check, please?
Okay. Next time I need to read. I read. I skimmed.
I just like honestly, the running joke on the channel about the C7 rule, having like read the last sentence in a paragraph, is because I kept not doing that. So
yes,
it can happen to any of us.
Yeah, criminology rule.
Yeah, regular criminology, please.
Okay.
Regular criminology, no modifier.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Nice.
So one of you may kind of like prompt this conversation, but like one of the things that is typical for criminals in general setting aside all this bizarre starfall nonsense and the abdominal cavity nonsense and the cannibalism and whatnot. Criminals, if they're smart, when the heat is on them, they leave.
Yeah.
Rather than being caught.
Yeah.
And if you look at the Trail of Terror, it seems like all of them were on the cusp of being caught when these transitions happen, right?
Okay.
Why did Braverman flee from Houston?
Yeah. So it's effectively it's hiding yourself, but this creature can hide itself in a different body, which indicates intent, which indicates some sort of intelligence, which is not. This is probably the first time Wood is probably like, okay, this is his Mulder moment. It's like, you know, if it was instinctive, he could sort of see it. If it was, because he probably knows about parasites that control ants or whatnot and forces them up so they get eaten and things like that. So he was probably starting to go in that direction. But as soon as he realizes that it's acting like there's an intelligence behind this, he's just like,
yeah.
What the fuck is all this?
Well, one thing worth underscoring too, like with the as a reminder for myself and for Robert, and just as because it was such a different time too for Jaden's benefit. Like this is a time when like the book Communion, which was supposed to be about visiting with aliens, was a thing that libraries would have out on display for like popular consumption. Alien abduction and alien like UFOs and shit like that were a huge part of why X-Files ended up being successful, because they were part of the zeitgeist as well. Yeah. You know, so like the whole like, is it aliens thing, it's sort of a silly cast-off joke right now, but it was genuinely taken as not necessarily credible, but credible enough to be part of the zeitgeist.
Yeah. Okay.
So, not to say that would affect Wood's decision, because again, like not everybody believed that shit, but like you were not thought to be a kook if you were reading Communion or some other like alien invasion. Daytime TV would have folks who would talk about this shit. Yeah, you know, like it's not accepted or part of the sort of a professional understanding of it. We didn't have a UFO branch, whatever. But as far as the public consciousness is concerned, it's very much there. Like it's a real live point of tension and anxiety.
Yep. Yeah.
So, but so you see while you guys are thinking.
All right, we need to find this Elaine. And maybe the best place...
Jaden, this is the cover of the book Communion.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were saying, Robert, sorry.
Sorry. Oh, no. What we need to do, we need to find Elaine, and it's unlikely this creature, if it's smart enough to go all the way here, is anywhere in public. In other words, I'm doubting this, whatever this is, goes out and eats. It doesn't even seem to eat, and you probably need to eat from the sounds of it. Although you would assume the human body would need something. It's going to go where it's going to be where people can be isolated. So that's why it's going after people on the highway. Possibly, my guess is they're probably being taken late at night. Everybody has been taken on the highway. that we know of, except for the people at the Big A ranch. So if we could figure out where the Big A ranch was the most recent thing, right? It's like it was taking people on the highways. Then the Big A ranch wasn't even. That was that listed in our initial handout? Yeah, the Big A family. 200 sheep, 2 pickups, trucks, Louise and so. See, my problem with all this is, yes, it was a nice pattern where we could lay traps and whatnot, and then the Big A family happened. And that was a fairly large event, so I'm wondering if it's prepping itself to move. It's like that's not going to be something that you can easily hide. That's not something that's a local. I think it's getting ready to move.
I would agree.
Yep. I'm trying to figure out if there's any way we can set a trap. But
yeah. I'm writing like a murder board-esque timeline, connecting all the dots from Julie down to Mark.
Yeah.
And seeing if there's anything else that's jumping out at me.
Yeah. So our friend is going up to Colorado's is going up to see the medicine man at this point, and suddenly this seems like it's taking a major turn.
Did we investigate the car yet, or is that still on my to-do list?
The car, yeah.
If there's anything else to find there, question mark, or maybe not?
At this point, now that we put this all together, I'm not necessarily sure.
Right, eh?
Yeah. I'm not necessarily sure if that's... I mean, it might still be useful to take a quick look at it, but I don't think that needs to be our major... Sorry, I'm getting a Auburn Selectman call from Massachusetts. That seems like something I could decline. Yeah, I don't know that that's all that important, to be honest, unless somehow that the creature would go back there for any reason, but I can't think of why.
Because it's kind of like done a trajectory like that now.
Yep. The only thing I would suggest is because we saw the vultures above this car also when it was...
You did not.
We did not, okay.
Where the body that was within Raverman's body was largely sealed in the... that smell is going to be with you for a while. Yeah. But it was largely sealed within.
Yeah. The problem I have, though, is the way that it's hiding the bodies. It's like it... So first of all, that's another sign for its intelligence. But how is it doing it without being discovered and doing it so fast? It's still in a human body.
Can I ask another one that's not going to make things easier, but it's going to complicate?
Yeah.
Why are coyotes uncovering them?
Yeah, I know. That's... Well, me as the player thinks they're uncovering them because they're trying for us to find them, to probably protect the Apache in the area. That would be my guess. I don't know that that's something that Agent Wood would currently... having read what he read and having talked to Colorado's, he could see that if it wasn't just a normal coyote, in other words, if it's the mythical coyote they talk about, then yes, he could make that connection. I'm not sure that he's made that connection yet, because he doesn't see anything. Yes, okay, there's a coyote that disappeared 70 yards from the thing. That's weird, but he's not a believer in that kind of thing, not yet. So I don't think he could make that jump at this point. But if he was asked, he thinks it's very weird, that's for sure, and he knows that they're doing it just for these events, because as far as he knows, they aren't uncovering graves or anything else. But yeah, I think I think he's close. I honestly don't think he can make that connection. So, it's one of those facts that's colliding around in his brain, waiting to connect to something else. Anyway, so yes, I think the coyotes are actually trying to help. I was sorry, this is a little bit of a tangent on what happened last time. It's like I was thinking of Call of Cthulhu, like how it does sanity fails, which is often when you actually realize the truth.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
I don't think that's really the modus operandi here. It's like, because I could have seen in Call of Cthulhu if maybe the coyote that Dr. Butler ran into was trying to get her to follow it. By failing, she might have realized that and said, wait a minute, this creature's acting weird, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's when you realize the truth, but this has a different mode behind it. Anyway, I think he really wants to go and talk to John Rope at this point, just see what he heard last night, if he saw anything, because it's close enough to his ranch. Sorry, he's not on a ranch. He's just in a house, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He probably has a ranch as well, but I mean, you know.
Yeah. He would like to go talk to John Rope and just see if he heard anything extra. Right now, he's probably mostly in a waiting pattern because he's he does call Garrett. He relays the information. He also sends the.
When you say the information, what do you mean?
That what we found out in the car, we found, and also the new information of. I'm beginning to see a problem with doing this, but
yeah, I guess what's one thing that any law enforcement officer is going to want to know when you present evidence or information?
Yeah, well, where it came from. Yeah.
Every law enforcement officer with any kind of pedigree or time behind them is going to have been reamed out by a DA at some point for saying, where the fuck did this come from? Because
I think, okay, so he's not doing everything. Really, what my original idea is to give him Elaine's photo and say, well, this woman needs to be on every street corner, except for the fact that then she knows we're almost ready to find her.
Also, it's 2.5 hours away from.
Yeah, 2.5 hours. Yeah. He still passes on the photo. He says, if somehow you run across this woman, and he does say, Wood says, we have reason to believe that she may be planning to leave very shortly.
So I forgive if I'm misspeaking here too, but what I understand is that there's a difference between someone who is a person of interest and someone who is a suspect.
Yes.
Person of interest is someone who you're going to want to stop and speak to. Suspect is someone you're going to want to arrest or at least, you know. So if you wanted to frame it as this is a person of interest, because one question you can anticipate he would have is. So this is a woman who was kidnapped by her husband from Houston.
Assumed to have been kidnapped.
If you're now thinking that she was involved in whatever killings that he did, person of interest is a reasonable. You know.
Yeah, I think he would go with the person of interest, particularly because if he says she's a suspect, he doesn't want whatever vector she's carrying to get transferred to somebody because they don't know what that person is.
Sure.
He would say she's a person of interest at the moment. We have reason to believe that she's more connected to things than what the reports from Houston said, but we don't have enough to say that she's a suspect.
Okay. Why don't you give us a...
He also, when he first calls him, he says, thank you again for the tip that you gave yesterday. He makes sure to point out that that's what directly led to this information. So... Okay.
Let's make it at plus 20. Give us a charisma check at plus 20.
Sure. Where's my character? Why does my character keep disappearing? Because I keep closing him. Oh, wait, that should be a Well, that should have been plus 20.
Yeah, you're already success. Okay.
Yeah.
So
okay.
yeah, he no problem. Like they're going to have for the and because he's part of the state police, like it'll be the highway patrol or whatever the Arizona equivalent is. They'll have it out for all the way up and down on 70 and all the sort of surrounding areas. So they'll circulate that at the very least. You know, well, they'll keep it as a person of interest. So
Yep.
Okay. That's kind of the end of day because it takes about a day for the other information you were getting from there. Is there anything else you guys wish to try and undertake today to get the ball rolling? Not that like these conversations take a day, but like getting a response from some of the requests that you were making would have taken that long.
Yeah, it's also just mulling all of this over. It's because you can assume, and again, you said there's no red herrings for the players, but you could almost kind of like sweep under the like little sidetracks we took because maybe there was a little other evidence that we didn't, that we had to check up on. So, all right, so probably not time to go to talk to John Rope.
If you want to go in the evening, you could.
Yeah, I would like to.
Okay.
I'll join you.
Because I can't think of anything else right now we can do, which is unfortunate because it seems like things are coming to a head.
Right.
And Colorado said he was going in the morning. Unlikely, I would guess, I'm sure he'll find us when needed.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, we'd go out and tell Agent Turner, I definitely like you along. I'm not sure that he will be as forthcoming if you're with me when I talk to him.
Right. That's right. You mentioned that. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm happy to bring you along, but maybe, park and I could just walk up and talk to him.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. That maybe you'll see something on the way that I haven't seen. So who knows? Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Just trying to find my. Here we go. All right, so it is well into the desert where you're going to be finding John Rope's off of U.S. Route 70 and up into the reservation's rougher terrain. As you guys are going along, the sun does set by the time you get out there, and the stars are beginning to shine. That massive, carpet of stars you see above you. Perner, I take it, is the one who is driving, which gives Wood an opportunity to sort of look out and potentially look up. Wood, having read that scientific journal about the star fall, I know it's been a comforting thing with you looking up at the stars.
Yeah. Prior
to this, how do you feel now seeing that vast blackness above you?
I mean, I guess in part, he's kind of imagining that he doesn't necessarily think there's a connection between the starfall and what's happened. He thinks that it's a possibility, and that's mostly because, again, of the zeitgeist of this time period. Less in thinking of it as an actual possibility, as in kind of knowing that he's making that connection, and maybe it makes him a little unnerved, but I don't know. I don't think he truly believes that part. So he's still mostly finding some comfort in it, with maybe just a tinge of unease way at the back.
Okay.
You know how like sometimes you'll be like looking up the stars, and at first it's really, really fun and nice, and all of a sudden, I don't know if you've ever had that, but like all of a sudden there's just like this. It's like it's just too big. It's too fast. So. Yeah.
What about Agent Turner? What's going through his mind as he's navigating this rough, backcountry road?
thinking over the timeline a bit more, thinking over the amount of victims at each kind of stage of this journey. Still kind of lost in the clouds and hasn't, I don't think he's quite made the same connections that Wood is making, and is perhaps a little overwhelmed at the new scope of understanding on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Ashes his cigarette out the window.
Nice. The desert air would be a lovely contrast to the heat you guys have been experiencing all day. Telephone calls and whatnot. 'Cause remember, this is also the age of the landline too, so you're having to be at a payphone or at the sheriff's office to be able to make all those calls. Pulling up to Rope's residence, like it's a shack with a kind of a rough pen with some sheep or goats in them. You're able to pull up at sort of the foot of the driveway. At Agent Wood, you're able to walk up. I think by the time you get to the top, the door is open, and you've got John Rope is sitting on the porch once again. He has a gun in his hand too, rifle. Not pointed at you, mind.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Wood is making sure to be somewhat loud, at about the point that, so that he knows that somebody's coming up the walkway. In fact, he even maybe calls out a little before he would expect to be seen. Of course, who knows? John Rope might be able to see him before he thinks, but he says...
In English or Apache?
He calls out in Apache.
Okay.
He says greetings in Apache, and he says, it's... And he actually, I don't know if he ever said his first name, but he probably did when he introduced himself. He says
he probably refers to as Fed. Yeah.
But I say, I probably introduced myself with the full name. I said, it's Lewis. And as he gets closer, if he hasn't responded yet,
so as getting closer, he hasn't said anything yet. But then you hear again, a distance off to the west, cry of a coyote.
Okay.
You see, Rope turns, looks over, looks back at you, and says in Apache, "It's been crying all night."
Says Ed. And Wood kind of cocks an eye at the rifle, and he says, "Expecting trouble?"
You're on your own.
I do have a partner back in the car. Helped drive me out here. Figured I could use an extra pair of eyes if anything was important out here.
You didn't bring the chief.
He's down with the medicine men. He kind of relates what they had found in the vehicle and the fact that it appeared another coyote.
The guy just sort of shakes his head. But, doesn't. And you're here. This coyote is crying off to the west the whole time.
It all night or all day? He refers to
when the sun went down.
All right. Last night is when we found the other car. Did you hear him last night? No?
Nope.
All right. Thank you. It's like I had obviously this wasn't a social visit, but it was good to see you again.
Where's the chief?
The chief, he says he's with the medicine men in and I don't remember where the ritual.
Yeah, this is the second time he's asked.
Yeah, and he looks at him and says, "Should he not be there? Are you expecting him not to be there? Do you think he's in trouble?"
And you hear the coyote cry once again.
Yeah. All right.
Says, Chief, he would have told you not to come out here yourself.
Why?
Fed.
Okay. Yeah. Says, I'm going to go check that out. And he says, thank you. He holds his hand out to shake. He recalls that.
He nods towards you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, okay. All right. And he says, all right, see you. And he says, thank you. I'll let you know if I find anything.
if you spare a look back over as you're walking down the driveway in the dark,
Yep.
you can hear the coyote crying sporadically. Now, if you spare a look back, you can see Big Gay has now, or Rope has now sat himself down on his patio, his rifle out.
Yep.
And you remember when he heard the coyotes the night that the Big Gays were uncovered, he sat out all night with his rifle as well.
Okay, sure. Okay. Yep. Okay.
What's the expression on Wood's face as he gets back in the car?
Uneasy, particularly with the question by about the chief twice, and he said, does he have any idea how far away? I mean, I know it's hard to tell at night, but does it seem like it might just be over like a couple of hills that the coyote is, or?
The coyote is probably a mile or so. Sound wouldn't travel all that sort of long, man.
Yeah. We don't, unfortunately, we just have the regular vehicle.
Yeah,
so
you guys are around here.
Yeah.
And you're over to the west.
Okay. That's where the coyote sounds.
Actually, kind of think it would be northwest.
Okay.
Is that somewhere near where the chief is at the moment, perhaps?
Well, he was supposedly at Lake, was it Takalai?
Takala, I believe.
Takala?
And again, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But yeah, he said it, look, he didn't give you the specific place, but he said the mountains northeast of San Carlos.
Yeah.
So northwest would be San Carlos itself, Lake Takalai, wherever the mount,
Let's rather than just walk there from here, it looks like might be near the highway. So why don't we get back and we're down in this area, right, Kev? You said
you guys are right here right now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Why don't we get back in the car, go along the highway, slow, and keep the window open until we can maybe get a better bead on where this coyote is, and then see if we can walk directly there from the highway.
So if you're traveling relatively slowly on the highway, like that could be upwards of an hour.
He doesn't really want to scare the coyote, and he wants to be able to hear it.
Okay.
Obviously, if it's you said it sounds like it's only about a mile or so up the road, though.
Which would be about I think 1.4 or something kilometers.
Yeah.
So it's about like.
Okay, so it's not very far at all. For some reason, I thought you when you were drawing that it was further up. Okay,
no, it's definitely the direction.
Okay. Why don't we walk up there then? Where we can use some exercise, right?
I love it.
All right.
Like just from the ropes ranch?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how rough this terrain is. I would assume pretty rough.
It is pretty rough. And if you've never, one of the challenges of hiking through this kind of territory is unsteady footing, because there's a lot of scree, a lot of this. So it's definitely somebody like you can go. It's gonna be real rough going. And do either of you? Let me double check to see if this is a skill in the game.
Can either of you survive an attack of any kind?
Anyone have training in survival?
And which might not mean that this is not something that Wood would normally suggest.
No, because the other added thing is doing it at night. Like
Yes,
one of
I know.
the challenges of moving
Yep.
around this thing is like you could turn a foot, and you guys do not have appropriate footwear for moving around.
No.
Not to say you can't do it. It's like I don't want to deter you, but I want you to be appreciative of what the challenges are of like hiking a kilometer off in this terrain. You're talking about doing a half-hour hike up and down some relatively unsteady terrain, and
I mean, I think Wood is pretty. First of all, he feels like this might be a connection that will. I mean, he feels he's close to something connecting in his brain, and he's now worried about Colorado. So, particularly if Agent Turner has any survival, he would be willing. 10 also. Huh? All right.
Wearing our FBI shoes, all cleaned up and getting a little dusty right now.
I think the other concern might be getting yourself lost out there. Anyone have training in navigate?
10. I got training. It's not high.
I got 30.
Okay.
So it's not nothing.
10%.
It's not nothing.
Yeah. Like I can tell you just for practical, I've went hiking in the Mojave Preserve, and I managed to get myself lost on a trail. Because the trail is like you just go 10 like pole to pole to pole to whatever. I managed to get myself lost when there was a route marked. To say nothing of nighttime. To say nothing of
we're in the dark.
Yeah. Wood is thinking about all of this. He knows he's not the person to really do this. He says, "Can you walk back up with me to ropes?" So they go up. As they come up, he knows this is an older fella, but he looks pretty healthy, right? I mean, for an older fella.
Oh yeah, he's a kind of like ropey, fit old fella. You know. Yeah.
Says, back again in Apache.
Says two feds in Apache. So whatever's going on, you can't understand what's being said here, Turner.
Yeah. He's trying to make it relatively fast. He says, "Are you willing to take us to where the coyote is howling?"
Give us a... Let's see.
Is this just charisma or a human?
Persuade.
All right.
And I think, just a standard difficulty. He does like you, so that's why you're not suffering a penalty here?
Yeah.
Or at least he tolerates you for a fed.
Yeah.
Pretty good. So what do you say?
I basically say, and it's an Apache, and he kind of nods in that direction, says, we're feds, right? We don't know how to walk in this, but I think there might be something important out there. And it
thinks for a moment and completely, gives away nothing on his face. So you're looking to hire me?
Yes.
He looks back. That Fed car of yours.
Yeah.
Has flashlights in it?
Yes.
Shotgun?
I assume. Yeah.
It does have one shotgun.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
You get those. I'll get my light.
All right.
And we'll go out.
Thank you.
So you look over at Turner. Turner's not understood any of this.
Says, well, we've got a guide. And says, let's go we need to get the flashlights and the shotgun, and he'll take us to where we hear the coyote.
There goes nothing.
Yep.
And guys, with you guys packing up, ready to go off into the night in search of a mystery coyote, that brings us to the end of our session. Now, I don't know if either of you guys failed any skill checks today.
I believe it was...
Oh, forensics. You guys both...
Forensics.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if you've got that...
Are those... We failed our intelligence, but yeah.
Yeah, no, doesn't no. So you, at the bottom of the sheet, remember there's a little button for... It'll roll those for you.
Okay. all the way at the bottom. Oh wait, there we go.
Bottom of the skill, not the bottom of the skill, the sheet. Where the skills are, just give it that little button, and it'll automatically update the things and erase the check mark.
Okay. I clicked it. I now have a 4 in forensics. Okay.
Nice. Do you see what I mean, bub?
I think I just did that.
Yeah, it looks like a little power button. Yeah.
Totally right.
Perfect. Then,
So
excellent. All right. So then, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for part 3 of Puppet Shows and Shadow Plays. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the game, or the adventure we're playing, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. There's also a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where we have channels dedicated to most of the games we run on the channel, including a Lovecraftian channel. I don't think I share these characters over there because they're pre-gens, and it's stuff that we took from the one of the products available for Delta Green, but we do have channels dedicated to most of the games and campaigns we run on the channel, as well as things like Find a Group, GM discussion, virtual tabletop chat. There's a terrific, helpful, knowledgeable, and friendly community over there. You're more than welcome to join us. There's also a link down below. Oh, I should say as well, just that we do have a, because of fucking spammers, we have a question. You have to answer a security question before you can join the server. It'll ask you why you want to join. Just make sure I understand that it's something to do with the channel or the games or something like that. If you say D&D or I want to be part of the community, I'm going to assume it's an art spammer who's just trying to get in so they can message members of our community about commissioning art or some other bullshit. But yeah, in addition, there's also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is the preeminent unionized retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs in North America. Not only do they have an incredible selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games, they have an unmatched selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs like the original Delta Green. If they don't have something in stock in their extensive catalog that you're looking for, you can put it on a want list. They'll send you an email when it comes in, and if you make a purchase of $10 or more through their website, be sure to enter the code NIGHTTIME. Night with a K is listed down below, all caps, all one word. It'll save you 10% on any purchase of $10 or more through their website, including pre-orders. And if you are listening to this after September 30th, 2026, just come back to one of our more recent videos. You'll see what the current discount code is, because this one will expire as of then. The last thing I will say is a huge thank you to Robert and Jaden for playing today. So thank you very much, guys. Really good progress on your investigation. Good job in piecing together what you may be facing out here. And I believe Robert has given it a potential name as well, too, the Traveler. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Oh, let me think here. 2 weeks from today will be... Yes, we will be back. The weekend of the 10th, I'm gone. But the next session of this, I think, is going to be the weekend of like the 5th. Or the 3rd. Yeah, so we will be back in 2 weeks' time. But until then, we hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our intrepid Delta Green agents, well, not members of agents, not agents of Delta Green yet. But until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.
Yeah.